Whose arms?
Beanies.
Yeah, buddy.
You can see the steroids.
All right. So I'm just gonna make up a problem. Let's say.
Does that intercom button actually work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Does it go to the entire school?
No, don't.
Don't. It's gonna beep until
It's
they
gonna go to the main office.
And that's the main
What's
office.
up, main office?
We do that at the end of the school.
I'm under
Huh?
the influence. I'm under the influence. Codeine Weber.
All right. Well, I'm recording. You just admitted now I haven't recorded. All right.
Everything you say.
So
Everything you say will be held against you.
let's say we have a few points. Let's say we have a few points on this, and this is going to be.
You should get a yardstick.
Shut the hell
You
up.
just fucked up it.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Well,
That
now
was a joke.
I'm laughing so hard.
Nothing, but did you see how everyone just started?
Okay.
laughing?
Stop
So-
saying to your microphone.
So let's pretend we have this data. Now, on the test tomorrow, there's going to be two of the easiest points that like 90% of students always miss. It's going to say, hey, label the X and Y axis. I mean, sir, it saddens me. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? So make sure you label it. So this is just made up fictitious. I don't have a data table that I'm dealing with, but how I think we can do this. I'm driving my car. I can see an actual readout of my gas. It's not just a little gauge that floats up and down. It actually has a countdown mechanism in it. Okay, I'm just pretending. I'm sorry if there's not one like that. In the old Mazda 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
boy.
Wait. Did you have a Volkswagen Golf?
Yes. No.
Oh. You had a Volkswagen something, I know that.
No.
Because you posted a video about how to fix it.
Wrong
What?
Christopher
What?
Stroke.
Oh shoot, there's two on YouTube.
There's also
Okay,
like
never
horse
mind.
videos.
Oh.
It's weird.
I was gonna say, how you know?
Hey
My mom
guys,
had a
Mr.
Volkswagen.
Stroud here. I'm
I love
gonna
it.
teach you how to fix your car now.
All right.
What?
So
No, no.
So if we take the X and Y axis of our vehicle.
let's say this is counted by twos.
Axis. This would be the Do you not know what
We
that
have
is?
our slave coal puller.
Cole Bullard is not attend school, so he helps me fix cars.
All right.
Stroke too hot for the-
So we're driving a really bad car. Gets really bad gas mileage. Okay. So I'm going to, once I have my data plotted, I'm going to draw a line of best fit. Does that seem like an okay line of best fit right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Whoa, I'm a ma'am now. Okay. All right.
Why is she?
Why what?
Sorry, I just assumed your gender.
Okay. Okay. So from here, we're going to try and have to pick 2 points. That seems like a pretty good point to pick, and maybe that's a pretty good point to pick. So maybe that's at 5, 14. And maybe this one is at, I don't know, 21, 4. Does that seem okay? So you'll have a problem that'll be, put in the line of best fit, label the XY axis. We actually already have the dots on it for you, so you don't have to put them on there. But you have to label. So things that you definitely have to put on there. This, okay. Might not be that exact label, but you can figure it out. And then it's going to ask you to pick 2 points. We're going to ask you to draw a line of best fit. Okay, you get 2 points if you can draw a straight line. And again, I saw people like start connecting the dots and they try and make a puppy out of it. And you're like, but you put a little puppy cute. Yeah, but you're going to fail math. Okay. All right, so I would like to start finding the actual equation. So can somebody tell me what the first step in doing this would be?
Ooh.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
know.
Go ahead.
The the slope, the y1, y2
There you go.
minus y1
Good.
over x2 minus x1.
Sweet, you learned in school so well.
Hashtag
School is
math
very
genius.
hard.
All right.
Hashtag algebra 1.
Are you on math?
I didn't even know we was tweeting. All right, so then I'm gonna go. Let's see. I don't know. 4 minus 14. So 4 minus 14, and then 2 minus 5. Did I do that right?
Sure.
And so that's good. What's 21? Oh wait, what did I do? 20. Thank you. That was my mistake, right? All right, so negative 10 over, is that 16?
Yes.
And I could probably reduce that to negative 5 over 8. Okay, so is my slope positive or negative?
Jacob, you're jamming, bro.
It's negative? Okay, so there's going to be another question that says, hey, talk to me about the correlation of this problem. So does this data appear to fit in kind of close to a straight line? So this would
Stop
be
being gay.
strong negative.
Assume his sexuality.
Yes, I just did.
Guys.
I'm not quite sure what you guys are doing, but
This is on
figure it out. Go find it out in the hallway. Okay, this is strong negative. What would make it strong positive?
If it was just regular 5/8.
Yeah, if the slope itself was positive. So far up here on this board, I have 2 points that you'll get from just labeling it, 2 points from drawing a line of best fit. So now we're up to 4 points. 2 points for telling me it's strong, negative, or positive. So that's 6 points right there. There's not a whole lot of math that just took place on this problem, and there's 6 points that you can get. Are you going to try and get as many points as possible? I would hope so. Yeah,
So to be clear, on the graph,
on the graph.
you can pick any points.
I can pick any 2 points.
Do they have to be touching the line of fit?
You want them close to touching the line, and it's better to have them further spread out.
Okay.
Okay, so these are kind of spread out. I probably wouldn't pick those 2 points or those 2 points or those two. I'd pick them further apart.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so now let's continue on our adventure of getting the line of best fit. So my next step is I'm going to have to use my point slope equation, which is this, and I'll have this on the test for you. Okay, so then I have to pick one of my points. Well, the only point I can see right now is 4 over 21, right? So I'm going to go y minus 4. Seem okay so far? What goes next?
I don't know.
Slope. What's slope?
Oh,
Negative 5 over 8.
There you go.
I said it first.
Then I get x minus 21. We okay with that?
Negative 5 over 8.
Wait, no. Where's the 21?
So the only point that I can still see right now is this one, so I chose to use that as my x1, y1.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it'll be the same equation regardless. And we're going to ask you, and I think the one on the test, it's not going to come out with a fraction, but I made this up off the top of my head, so it's going to have a fraction. So just deal with me on the fraction. So I'm going to distribute here. What is that? 105 over 8. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Oops, I forgot the x. And then the only thing I have to do is I have to take care of this math right here. So 105 over 8 plus 4 over 1. So I'm going to change 2 by 2. So that's going to become 8 over, by 8, excuse me. So that's 32 on top over 8. And so 32, that's going to be 137 over 8. And anyone have a calculator out? Joy does. What's 137 divided by 8 as a decimal, please? 137 divided by 8. 17.125. Yep. Cool. And then what is 5 divided by 8 on a calculator? What's 5 over 8? 5 divided by 8. 0.325. 0.525. Just as decimals. Just go 5 divided by 8.
Yeah, it's 0.625.
0.625. Okay. All right. So notice what I did. I'm changing my fractions. I'm changing them to decimals. Does that make sense? If I make them decimals, sometimes it's easier to understand what the problem's saying. So I'm going to change my slope from negative 5 over 8x to negative 0.625x. And I'm changing 137 over 8, which was 105 over 8 plus 4, to 17.125. Okay? So let's figure out what the slope means in the context of the problem. Remember, slope is the y. So on y, we have gallons over the x, which is miles driven. I will lose 0.625 gallons of gasoline or diesel or whatever we're using for every 1 mile I drove. This car gets bad mileage, but let's just pretend. So the slope in the context of this problem is I will use 0.625 gallons for every 1 mile driven. That's what the slope means in the context of the problem. I can't make it any more clear than that. You're talking about what's going on in the y direction over what's going on in the x direction. And that's why I changed my slope to a decimal. Yeah. Okay. So does that make sense why I changed the slope to a decimal? If I didn't change it to a decimal, then I use 5 gallons of gas for every 8 miles I've driven. If you wanted to say it that way. All right, so then the last thing we wanted to say, so that's what the slope means in the contents. What does the y-intercept mean in the context? So the y-intercept, what's my here? What is this labeled?
Gallons.
Gallons? So what does my y-intercept mean in the context of this problem?
How much gallons you started with?
Yeah, I started with
I got some gas in my bag.
17.125 gallons. Okay?
Wait.
Yeah.
Why did you turn the slope negative?
Oh, well, it was a negative slope here.
Oh yeah, it was.
So then, being that I'm saying I could have done this. I could have said that. I'm not going to correct you if you have put the negative in there. But that's what it means. So I started with 17.125 gallons of gas in my vehicle. Now some people was like, well, if it's a 17-gallon tank, how can you put more gas in there? Well, if the tank itself is 17, you have the gas nozzle that holds a little bit of gas as well. Agree? You know, the pipe that goes down from where you insert it into your car that goes down into the gas tank will have a certain volume of gas in it. Okay? So you'll have to do a problem by hand. Everyone good? Okay, does anyone need me to do anything on the calculator? Or do you feel comfortable with what the calculator can do for you? Yeah.
I just need to know how to calculate it. No,
Oh, okay.
to know how to get there.
Okay. So if you need a calculator, go grab one. Please. Alright, so
Swear to God, drop. Swear to God.
okay. This is just some made-up data. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But I would like to use the graphing calculator to plot the data, find the line of best fit, and maybe even do a residual value. Residual values aren't hard to do, and I think we can get it, okay? So, if I'm going onto my calculator, let's just go through this. Oh shoot, I meant to open a calculator. I apologize, I didn't open one yet.
We should play Minecraft.
Wait, Mr. Sure, I get to all the colors where it says white, and then how do I get to the?
Oh, to actually plot it in?
Yeah, you click stat,
A,
and then you click 1, enter.
nope, it's vars.
Oh, I got it, and then
Vars
you
or
press
vars?
clear.
Vars.
The down arrow. Wait, clear down arrow.
Alright,
There is no vars.
it's underneath the arrow
This
keys.
one.
VARS.
First one or second? There's only one var.
There's vars right there. I made it red for you.
What does that do?
Well then, if you had y equals,
You click.
you can go vars, statistics, equation, equation,
Oh, never mind.
enter,
That's not what I
and it puts the equation in. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is. That was already in there. Alright, so when we get our calculators tomorrow, I will make sure any of the calculators that you will use, I will have cleared out the memory, but then I will turn the diagnostics back on for you so you don't have to go worry about that. Is that okay? So I'm just going to go take care of this real quick so I don't have to deal with anything else. And then I'll turn my diagnostics on. Yours should still be on. Go to diagnostics. We good? Everyone happy? All right, so again, I will make sure that's already turned on your calculator. If you have your own personal calculator, you're more than welcome to ask me to do that for you as well. It's just takes something off your plate. So I'm going to plug my data in which I had written up here originally. All right, and I'm just going to write it here. So 5, 14, 6, 18, 27, 19, 28, 21. Okay, so that's what my information is going to go in list 1, list 2. All right, so stat, right? And then where do I go if I want to start plugging data in? 1, okay. And then I'm just going to plot in -5, -6. Notice I'm using this negative key right here. I'm not using the subtraction key. And then 14, 18, 19, 21. Okay, that's the data I was going to plug in. Let me know if you need any more time. We good? Good? Let's do it. All right. I will also make sure I have your stat plot on tomorrow. So I'll turn that on for you as well. All right, so how do once I have that in, I hit zoom. And what does zoom do for me? What do I want to do with my, Yeah, so which one would I pick? Zoom stat, good, number 9. Okay, so does that appear that it would be a line with a negative slope? Line of best fit with a negative slope?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's figure this out. Let's say, okay, I want to find my line of best fit. How do I do that? How do I do that? Line of best fit. Where do I go? Stat. Calculate. And number 4. And then move it on down. So this particular equation.
What? Wait, you go stat, edit.
Stat.
How come I don't have numbers in mine?
I don't have R or R.
Oh, because we probably turned it off. I'll make sure it's on.
Mine. Wait.
So go second catalog. So second catalog's down here. Hit the letter D, which is x to the -1, and then go down to diagnostics on.
Show me where catalog is again.
second, catalog,
Catalog is 0.
and then you hit to get to letter D, x to the minus 1. Good? Then then I have to go back and get my line of best fit. So second, or stat, calculate, linear regression, down to calculate, enter. All right, so I have a slope of this line of negative 2.1, and I have a y-intercept of 4.3. Does it make sense that my r value is negative? What's making my r value negative? The slope. The slope's negative, the r value is negative. So this has a strong negative correlation. Okay? If the slope was positive, and our r value would be positive, it would be a strong positive correlation. Okay? Alright, so I can do a number of things, but my equation that I just found off of this, I wrote it down over here, is I found that my equation is y equals negative 2.1x plus 4.3, and then I had an r value of negative 0.979. So this is going to tell me that we have a strong negative correlation. I mean, that's all you write. That's 2 points right there. You can tell me a strong positive or strong negative. That's all it is. And then this is my slope is actually equal to negative 2.1. I'm sure the problem will have something in the context of the problem. And then my y-intercept is 4.3. So the y-intercept is normally your starting point of some sort. Okay. What else would go with this problem? Oh, let's find out if we have. I just lost the name. Come back to me, Chris. What's the name? That blood must have had the.
Oh shoot. Do you have any tissues with this?
I don't. Run upstairs to the restaurant. Another one down here is closed.
Yeah, I know, that's why I was about her.
The one that has been closed is like the big
Residual. All right. You will come across a problem that will say, hey, what is the residual at negative 6? Okay? So it's going to say, what's the residual at negative 6? So my data gave me negative 6. What did the data give negative 6 as? Look at my graph. 18. So this is from my data. But then I'm going to take negative 6. I'm going to plug it into my linear equation and solve it. So I get y equals negative 2.1 times negative 6 plus 4.3. So that's something you can do on your calculator. Okay? So on your calculator, negative 2.1 times negative 6 plus 4.3. Negative 2.1 times negative 6 plus 4.3. I'm telling you so you could do this. Negative 2.1 times negative 6 plus 4.3. What'd you get? 16.9? Cool. All right, so my residual is going to be this. This was the plug-in value. I get 16.9. We're going to subtract them. So that's going to give me 1.1. Okay, what's the more correct answer? They're both correct, but you're finding the residual. There's a certain difference between the two. Okay? Does everybody have the take-home test?
Yeah. I have questions on it.
Cool. Well, let's bust out. Let's get you guys working on it. Remember, the take-home I can't really help you a whole lot on. I can guide you a little bit. But if you haven't done the calculator question on the take-home test, then make sure you get that done if you don't have a graphing calculator at home. Make sense? If Desmos has one, yeah.
I lost your scissors. I don't know where they went.
Yeah, no, but it's fake. Someone just
That's
like
what I'm asking
grabbed
myself.
the
I played with them and I dropped them and I looked down and they were
lines.
gone. I think they're in my backpack somewhere now.